Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. I'm glad to see so many of you here. And still don't forget to help share the links because a lot of people don't even know that the same link work for a whole month. So I'll be putting out the link for September. It will be on the Facebook page. You can find it there. If you don't know where my Facebook page is, just Google my name. Anil Mangal, you can find it, right? So I don't think it's a problem. If you're absolutely new, you may want to help share the link. I will post the link on the Facebook. Let me just show people how it's done. You just go to ProWave. Let me just show the page. Look, it's here, ProWave Traders. You can go to ProWave Traders and you'll get it. And at the top, very top, you would always see me pin the very top link. It will be pinned at the top. That will be the link I'll remove this pin and I'll post the link for September. It will be for the entire month of September, right? And it will be pinned here. So you will see it. You will have access that you can help share it. Click a share here, share it on your Facebook page, share it on your LinkedIn page, share it wherever you want. So some traders are going to get it. About the course. So I just made a promise to help this week since we will be moving the course to the 11th. If you're one of the people who are going to be taking the course, it's going to be from the 11th, not the 4th, because I'm still awaiting the bank account to open. And that is a headache. That banks in the world are getting very, very strict these days. So they do a lot of background checking, all kinds of fancy things from the day you were born to now. So it's okay. I have no problem with that. The only problem is the timing. And because of that, it's going to take a Bitcoin account. Sounds like a deal, right? A Bitcoin account. But because the company, you still have to have the account to the bank, right? So I'll probably look at that. The Bitcoin account might be a good deal, right? So yes, coming back to it, it will be from the 11th. So don't worry, I will send the information to all of you, and you will all be in the course. Even if you were on the waiting list, we will add you to the course because we have 5 new trainers added to our team. What that means you still do the course with me, but there will be 5 more people helping you in the practical sessions, which we break the practical sessions into very small groups. Group of 10, 15 people. We don't want you to practice in a group of 40, 50, 60, or 100 people. So we practice you in groups of 10, very small groups, 10, 15 people. That means if you're still interested, you can come because we have 5 new people joining the team, right? You will have very good training. And remember, don't worry, you have lifetime access to us. So you will have enough time to learn. There is no rush. You will learn at your own pace. We're here. You see, if you notice, I don't have a site that says you can buy this package or you can buy that package or the platinum package or you're going to join or whatever fancy room name I want to give it. It's simple. If you want to learn to trade, join us. We will teach you to trade. That's it. We don't have any fancy name. We're not creating any fancy package for you. And there is no monthly fees. It's a one-time payment. The only thing you're paying for is you're paying for my 6 weeks of time that I will be with you. Everything else is free. The knowledge is free. The trading room is free. The daily webinars I do are free. The extra classes I will do is free. The one-on-one I will do with you to make sure you're successful is free. And they're not ending. It's not like after 6 weeks, that's it. At 6 weeks, you're just starting. It's not the end. Every weekend, I've made it a practice now that every single weekend, I do one-on-one with some of my students who are struggling, right? That's like a practice. For the last 4 weekends, I've been doing that. I take a couple hours and I sit down and I said, okay, come on, let's do one-on-one, everybody who needs help. I will continue to do that. And that is free as well. You can't pay for that. Let me put it this way. Most of the traders who take it, they've seen the change in their trading and they've been sending me back. They have to come back to me and tell me how they're doing. And I can see the change in their trading. They see the change in their trading. That is what it means. We train you to be a good trader, right? I'm not sure. If you hold the questions, I was not reading the questions. What somebody say? If you don't want to take your time, well, don't take it, Fazal. That's it. You can even don't take my time here if you want, right? You can't be with my trainers. My trainers are not paid people. They are just helping you. Their job is not to, they're not taking the responsibility of teaching you. The responsibility is on me. Their only job is to help you when you're doing your practical part to see that you do it correct. And if they have a difficulty with helping you there, I step in. Right? So it's not that kind of a... I know most of you are thinking like the other trading groups, right? Can I buy this package? Can I buy these videos? Can I pay for your trading room? Can I pay for this? It doesn't work so, guy. Don't waste your money on those things. If you're buying that golden package from multi-millionaire trader, good luck to you. He will send you 6 videos and you'll pay him $500 and you can kiss everything goodbye because you'll never become a good trader. That's it. That's the end of it. If you want to be a good trader, you have to stay with the group and learn to trade. Even if you become good at the first 6 months, somewhere along the line within the year, you're going to find some difficult spots. And that is where we step in again to help you. I've had traders who've been successful the first couple of months, and then 4th, 5th month, they hit something, right? They can't go further. They're losing. And then I'll say, okay, come, let's talk. I'll do one-on-one with them, straighten what they're doing, look at every trade they took, why they took the trade, where they're making mistake, correct that, tell them what to do. I moved traders from trading 10, 12 charts to trading one chart, one single currency. And guess what happened? From being unsuccessful, they become very successful. One trader in 6 weeks made 30%, trading only one chart. Simply not going all over the place. Or move off the 15 minutes and put them in the 4 hour and the 1 hour to trade until they get that knowledge. That's what we do. You didn't have to say it's you, right? And anybody who needs it, remember, that's what we do. We are here to help traders, basically. So it's not about just buying the course or buying the recordings or all of that. That will never make you a trader. There's a reason we have absolutely lifetime guarantee free to be with us. You don't have to go anywhere. You will live and see that we are doing the right things, basically. So let's go. For the course, remember, it's going to be on the 11th, so we still have a week more. If you want me to analyze any extra pair, wait until I finish the webinar. We stop the recording and then we'll take the extra pairs, if you stick around. If I have people from AU, we have a lot of traders from Australia. We have, I think about 10% of our traders or so are from Australia. That is a lot, right? Let's go. Yep, right thing, honey. Let's start. So let's start with the dollar index. Dollar index, last week we said it's in a consolidation and there were 2 options. Remember, we said watch this here. When they start to come back, there was an option for them to go back up here, or there was an option for them to go down. I think it's easy. Once you see this consolidation here, if they consolidate, that's the down option. If they make a sharp move up and pull back, then it's the up option. Well, we got the down option. So they broke the low. And once they break this low, what you're going to look for is a possibility that this thing will turn very soon. If you look in the daily charts, let me put it in daily charts so you can see why I'm telling you. This move down will have to correct itself with a bigger correction and then continue down. If it is a downtrend, it must correct before it goes. So what you're going to look for here now is if you take a trade, you may get a trade, you may get a sell today. If you take a sell setup here, it's a short-term trade, right? If you take, everybody keep your questions now until the end, right? So please keep your questions to the end. If you take a trade here, if they make a correction and you get a trade here, it's a short-term trade, take profit. Don't keep this trade. Take your profit immediately because you're not going to go very far. Same with the euro. As a matter of fact, for those of you who are very aggressive, you may get a short-term trade here first. You get an impulse, you're getting a correction. This could be a short-term trade down before they go back up. Now, one of the reasons you want to take the short-term sell, you will move that to break even so you don't take a loss, and you will put a stop here right above the top so you don't risk too much, which means it should not be more than 1%, if probably less than 1%. The reason you may want to take this is this could be the point from where they make the bigger correction. As long as the top is broken, they could start making that correction from anywhere, which means from right here, you could start to see that reversed. So taking this 1 hour short-term trade is a good idea. Right? This will be a very good idea. And this trade may happen very soon. Do not take a loss on this trade. If it spikes down very fast and start to pull back up, put it to break even. Don't try to keep this trade if it's not going. If it keeps going and it starts moving, well, yes, you put it to break even. And if it's going to go, let it go. Now, if there's a news event that could drop it, that would be great. You probably drop 60, 70 pips, you put it to break even and wait to see what happens, right? So I think short term, we're looking for a downside, but the downside, the total downside is not confirmed. They could still go back up, make a correction here and go back up like this, right? If you see 1, 2, 3 and they look like they're going back up, to go for the buy, take profit. Pong is making the deeper correction. We expected this. This was nothing new. We knew this was going to go back up. So what you need to do is wait for them to consolidate here. You see they consolidate and then drop. Wait for the consolidation, and you might get one more up. This will have to make a bigger consolidation here before they go down. So there's going to be a consolidation here, and they're already in that process of making. Like I said, you may get a short-term trade here. Not the best trade you want to take, and then go back up. Wait for this trade. And this might stay a long time here. They may spend a day or 2 or 3 here and then go back up. This is the trade you want, right? Remember, we were trading Pong to the downside. We changed. That's a correction. It's still going to go down, but this correction may take a week or 2. So the trade you'll be looking for would be the trade to the upside. It's not ready for the downside as yet. If you take the downside, it's going to be very, very short term. Right? Depends on how risky you are, how you can handle those trades, your experience and all of that. You can take this down, but it's short term. Aussie is doing exactly as we expected it to do. It came, it break the low, and it's going back. It's going to break that top. Right? So what we're looking for in the Aussie, we're looking for it to go break the top and then turn to the downside. There's a trade that is forming here. They're going to consolidate here some more. Looks like they're trying to do that. They'll spike it up here. And then we would look for this to start the downside. I don't think this will continue the upside. This might not be all the correction. Right? That might not be all the correction. Remember, we said watch Aussie for the upside. So the trade you would be looking for on the Aussie right now, they're consolidating here. You can see that they'll probably come back and do this, but this is your trade. You can take this trade, take the profit, and wait to see what it does. When it spikes out, it's going to make a spike like that, maybe a slower spike, something like this trade. See, remember that drop there? Take profit. If they consolidate again, you take the next trade up. It's very likely that when they break that top, they will turn to the downside. And Aussie will be going on the daily. We'll expect them to come back to this trend line. Now, they don't have to. When they break this top, you take that trade, and we'll see what happens. If you're lucky, they go and break this top. But I don't expect them to do that. We expect them to come back here and then go. This would be like the B wave correction with it. So you go for this wave up, take it. And if you're lucky, they go very much up. If you're not lucky, you get a small trade. You get some small profit. You get out. You wait for the downside. New Zealand. Pretty much same thing. We're in a correction, and they're making another correction here. You can see that. That's your trade. When they get to the trend line, move it into profit and wait to see whether they break out of the trend line. They could, because New Zealand is expected to make a deeper correction. See? New Zealand is expected to make deeper corrections, correcting all of this. So they may break out of the trend line. They may even pull back. You'll get enough profit to move your stop and take profit. And we will see how far they pull back before we go again, right? So it's in a correction, and corrections are difficult to trade. The trade you're looking for right now that is very likely to happen today would be this one if they break. Now you can see that there's a small one here. You don't want to trade those. They'll just do this. And if they do that, you look for that trade. If they don't do that, you don't have a sell setup. The sell setup is very small. So you have to wait, right? There's a sell setup, but it's not formed there as yet. I don't see this as a very good sell setup. Coming here probably and then going back up, something like this. See? So I would not be looking for the sell setup. If there's a news event and you think the sell setup is going to be very big, put an entry order under the low. If you think there's a news event coming, put an entry order here. So if they break through, that's a trade. But I think they're consolidating for upside, right? Because everything is showing you one more possible upside. Yen, We were looking for yen to go up. Remember, if you were following from the last tree, we were looking for 1, 2, and this should go up for 3. That didn't happen. That structure changed. And we relook at what the yen is doing. We actually looked at this as a sell setup. We got that. There's a small one here. This is more like a break-even trade because it didn't go anywhere. It will probably still go, right? This looks like a big correction here now. Right, there's a big correction going on there. So if this goes up, they'll probably go one more here. I don't see them going back to the upside big as yet because they may come and tag the low. Let's go to the 4-hour. There's a good chance that this one here would eventually come down slowly, tag this low, and then go back up. That is one option. If they break this low, if you go on the daily and they break the low, they will totally go up. Right? If they come and break the low first here, this will totally go up. But if they don't break the low, they can make a bigger correction. See this here, 1, 2, 3. After that move, we can go for a 1, a 2, a 3, and then come back here. That is possible. In any case, that would be a buy setup for you, right? And then you would look for the sell because these are pretty big moves. They only look small like that. Is the yen making one of that right now? I think no. Because if you look at it right now, let me just take off these smaller lines in it. If you're looking at it right now, what they're doing here is consolidating. Can they go back up? Yes. Watch it to drop here and then look for the upside. So let's look for the sell setup this week. You can pull this here. And you can pull this one here. We can buy this here. If this is going to go up, if that's a consolidation for upside, there's no buy setup here. Let them come here and look for the downside. See, unless you get a flag, because if they do make a flag here, you know, they made small flags in these. You see the small flag in there. If we make a small flag in here, then you go for this trade. Right? If they don't, just let it go and then look for the sell setup. It's just a big consolidation in the making. CAD still in this pattern, and the big question is, will CAD still give us? Remember, starting from this piece here, we started to say, watch this. It could break up. It could still break up. I still think they're going to break up. 1, 2, 3. We have a lot of divergence. It's showing us that the charts are, you know, momentum is not there, and it's probably going to turn if you have divergence. So you can look for this buy. You can look for this buy. When they come to the top of this one here, put it to break even. I think they're going to break out. So you can look for a break even trade here. Take this. Right? Wait for it to break. Get in that trade. Look for this trade to the top here. Put it to break even. I believe they'll break out, and you may want to keep that trade all the way to the top. It's an easy structure. You're looking for 1, 2, 3, and then we will look the continuation, right? 1, 2, 3, and then you look for continuation. 1, 2, 3, and you look for continuation. Let's see. This is a trade you're looking for this week, and then next week that trade. Right? Pretty easy. This trade is ready to go. This trade here is almost ready to go. What would be your risk? Put your stop under the low. You can risk 0.5% of this, and if this thing get to the top there, you make about 5-10% in your account. Right? So you can risk small on trades like this, and if they go, you make a lot of money. You don't have to risk 20% of your account, because if it doesn't go, you lose 20%. When you're thinking of risk, don't think how much you can make. Think how much you can lose. So the smaller you can lose, the more trades you can take. And the higher the probability of you're going to be more successful that way than to risk everything on one trade or 2 trades. So you can go 1% here. If you lose, is 1%. If you win, you get 10%. If you take 20 trades like that and you lose 50 of them and you win 50 of them, do the calculation. But remember, it's not just the math that is the magic. The magic is in selecting the right trades. That is the magic. You can get a couple of them wrong every now and then, but selecting the right trades. The math is just to show you how it will work. I know people like to say, oh, you can just take any trade you want. If you win 50, you lose 50. No, that's craziness. You're going to lose a lot of them and you're going to lose your account. You have to select the right trades. That's the number one thing. Swiss was a little surprised in that I didn't think that they're going to make such a big correction. I thought this correction is over with this piece and they're going to go. Well, they actually dropped lower. They haven't broken the low. This still remains the first move up and this trade is still going to happen. So if this is going to happen, we can see why CAD is going to make one more up. And that means you want to watch the yen. The yen is the only one not actually going up aggressively. It could go up some more, but not so big as what we think the CAD or the Swiss can do. So you may want to look at the yen pairs. If yen starts to consolidate in a smaller range, and CAD is going up, Swiss is going up, Euro coming down, Pound coming down, and they're coming down in bigger ranges than that, the yen pairs will start to move. So you want to look at the yen pairs, and we look at them to see whether there are good trades there. XAG did nothing much. It didn't do anything surprising. We saw this pattern. Remember this, they break, they came to the downside. If you took that trade, you're lucky if you get break even. You should take break even. Some of my traders grabbed the profit immediately because we weren't expecting them to go very far. And now they're at the top here. And this is not telling us anything. Right? That doesn't mean anything. So what you need to do with silver is wait. Wait, you shouldn't be buying silver in here because this is not a very, you can buy, remember I said buy silver here. I don't say buy it here. That's a bad place to buy. Wait until they break. If they confirm the breakout of this trend line and pull back, then we will buy. Right? Then you will buy. There's a good chance you're still in this downtrend and there's a good chance they can make the correction in here and then go. So if they're going to make a deeper correction, something like this, a deeper correction and then go, we will wait to buy lower somewhere in this area. So let this prove the breakout, the pullback, and then we buy, or it comes here and then we buy. If they come in here, we'll just buy. We wouldn't even think twice. They can go lower. They can come here. We don't care. Once they come in that 15 area, we'll start buying, right? But for buying at the top there is a bad idea. Let them break out, prove the move, and then you get a more secure trade to the upside. Where do we think this can go? I think this can come back to this level, right? You're going to get a 1, 2, 3, and they probably come and retest the low. There's no reason why silver will not want to retest that low, right? They can do that. So right now, let's see what happens here, right? Let's see if they come back. If this comes back here, I don't see a, not that I don't see, I don't think this structure will come back here. Break the low, right? There's no reason why this structure should develop that. It could develop that way, but right now, the way it's developing, it's looking more upside. So unless we have some change, I don't see that change happening right now. So we'll wait for the breakout, wait for the pullback and buy. Gold on the other hand is showing you a different structure. You're getting a buy setup. You can see this 1, 2, 3 here, very nice. 1, 2, 3, and then up it goes. Wait for a little consolidation. You can buy. Wait for a pullback. Don't buy immediately there. Wait for a pullback and buy. But gold is showing you something else. You notice the structure in gold looks different. This move down is much sharper. And this one is not going up that sharp, especially at the top here. It's very slow. So they may go a little more like that. If we see that this is dying out, we would look for this trade down. If you see that that is dying out there, and it likely is dying out already. We haven't seen any changes tell us this is not going to go down. So be careful. You could get one more down on gold. Right? So 4 hour, watch it. It's going up. 1 hour, let's see what it's doing. If you're going to trade that on the 1 hour, don't buy it here. Wait until this pulls back here and then buy. Because this is not a good sign to buy into that. Let them come back here. Make this flag here, and then you will buy into that to the upside. So if you're looking for any short-term trade, a short-term sell might be a good idea. Euro Oz came down. Remember, they broke this structure. So I was thinking, okay, this looks like they're going to probably do this. Well, you wait for a flag here. No flag, they just make one more high. That has not changed the bigger structure. Let me just show you in the daily. Here is why I could tell you, this may be a little, if you're not in my class, this may be a little difficult, but pay attention. They made 1, 2, 3. And here is a little secret. When they make 1, 2, 3, if they don't go, they're not going. That's a little secret you could learn. I wouldn't tell you why and how, but if they don't go after they make the correction and they start to do this, there's a very high probability, over 80% probabilities that they will come back here and then go. When they finish the consolidation, the impulse tends to go, right? If they don't do that, they're not going anywhere. Let me show you a good example. See this piece here? See that 1, 2, 3. You see when they broke out, what happened here? Let me make that piece bigger so you can see. That's a little trick for you guys. Absolutely free. See this here, when it broke, what happened? It's not going anywhere. They go back up and then they drop. You see what happens here? They drop. This 3 wave is supposed to go. So if you get in the trade and it's not going, get the hell out of it. It's not going to go. So if you're in this trade here and it's not going, that's it. It's probably not going to go. So in the 4 hour, what you're looking for? One more up, maybe. Just maybe they'll give us one more up here, right? See this one, when they broke out, what happened? It never went. See what they did? Right back down. This whole big structure here broke out and it's not going anywhere. So watch this piece here today. You may get a sell setup. Take the sell setup back to the low. And put it in a 1 hour so you can see. Pull back this trend line where it was. If they come here slowly like this, you can take one more buy setup. Take your profit. For you to get a sell setup, wait until they drop here. And if they make a flag, remember when they drop beyond the trend line, they have to make a flag. If they make a flag like this one, for example, or they make any flag, you will get a sell setup. Otherwise, you don't trade this as yet. Upside, possible one more, definitely. This is making a flag. See that? You get one more trade, take it and take profit. Don't keep it, because if they don't, if you're in the trade and it's going to go very, very impulsive, you don't have to worry. You'll be in a good trade. So if you move it to break even and then it takes off, good for you. We're expecting it to go. But when you're in the trade like that and it's not a breakout, but it's not going anywhere, all you have to do is, take profit, get out, because it's not going to go, right? So watch this setup here. It could come down, and then if they come down as a flag, and they'll likely come down like this, you can get one more trade up. See this one? You'll get one more trade up. Take the upside, take profit. Right. If you're in this one, put it to break even, because if they break this top by 2 pips and start to fall, they're going to fall very hard. Right. You're in New Zealand, same thing. We were expecting this piece to make a deeper correction. If you remember this piece here, I think this was even before last week, this piece to drop one more here, then go back up. But that never happened. They actually made a flag here and spiked it up. Right. This was a buy. If you take this buy, you want to take profit, because there you can see the divergence coming here, which means that very soon you're going to get a turn to the downside. They're making another flag here. You get one more trade up, take profit. Don't hold these trades now. We will start holding them when we see that these divergences are actually going away, right? This move is dying out here slowly. So if you take the trade, take profit. If they go very fast, you're a good luck. If they don't go very fast, they'll come here and come back down. Then go. When we get this second big consolidation, then we'll take the trade again. So right now on all the Euro pairs, you may get one more up. It's short term, take the trade. There's a nice flag here. It's a very small 1 hour flag. You can take the trade, take profit. Get in, get out, and don't take a loss on it. Euro Yen, same here. They broke out of this structure. I don't think this is going up here. Let me bring it to the 4 hour. I don't think we're going to get one more up. It's very unlikely. This pretty much looks like a 1, 2, 3 wave structure we're looking for. Turns out to be a very big structure, but this doesn't look very much. If this go, they're going to go very far, but I don't see it going right now. So what we'll do is watch on the 1 hour. What is your trade for this week? And your trade for this week, I think, is pretty easy. Everybody can see that. This trade. And then we will watch to see if they break the trend line or if they bounce. If they bounce, you get this buy. Right? If they bounce, it's one more big move to the upside. See, this was the move to, this was the buy, right? I think this one was pretty easy. For you, this one buy, this one went up. Here is where you would have got out of the trade, or you would have put it to break even. And if you did, you're lucky you get that. So now you need to take profit. Watch for this to come back here and see if they go or if they break. This structure, both of those patterns are really, really valid. So this sell you want to take. If it breaks, you keep it, put it to break even, wait to see if they break. If they bounce, you get a buy set up here. This would be your buy. This piece here is going to be your buy. So the sell becomes a break even, and then you get a buy trade. Euro CAD. Euro CAD is a sell. Even if they go one more up here, I think this is more of a sell. This thing is very flat. And this is why I think watch all the Euro pairs. This reason, this one here. This looks very much like it's coming down. Right? There's no structure in here that tells me this thing is going up as yet. Right? This looks like a big flag. If you pull this across here, you can see it looks like a big corrective structure to the downside. Right? Let's see what happens here. It looks like this is trying to make one more up. They tend to start like this sometime. If they do, they'll just spike it to the top and come back. So the buy in this one might not be a good idea. It does have a CAD in it, and we think CAD could go up, right? So, you know, it's if they go, Euro will come down and we'll be in sustained consolidation here for a while. One more up, like in all of them possible, but I think you want to look for the sell of in this one. You really want to look for the sell because of the way this looks. You want to look for a sell setup, right? So that means Euro will have to come down some to give you that sell, at least to break the low. One sell here, break this low, and then you can go back up. Now you will get a structure that says go up. So I think this will come down before the upside. You'll get a move to the downside. So keep an eye on this. In the worst case scenario, if it doesn't come down, you're not in the buy, you're in the buy in the other Euro pairs, right? Euro Chief kind of looks sideways right now. Two ways we can look at this structure. 1, 2, and they're making a tree here to come down, right? Or this whole thing is a 1, 2, 3, and we are trying to go up, right? Let's look at the internals in it. Internally, you can see this has 1, 2, 3. They can come one more down here and then go up. Look at that. Or if they break out here, you can start to look for this upside. The downside, you will not get a downside trade until you break this low. Don't take any sells until you break the low. Possible buy, come up here, make a flag, look for that buy. All right? If you don't get that buy and they come very sharply out of this, look for a buy above here to this target. All right? By the way, those lines have nothing to do with support and resistance. So don't go on my charts and write things, right? Especially the troll is in here. I know that. Don't go write crap on my charts. Those are not support and resistance lines. Those are just showing you the tops. Right? Why the tops are important? Because if you're doing wave structure, tops are important. It has to do with how the wave structure will develop. So don't go right in my chart. This guy has support and resistance in his chart. He's just not telling you. I have no secret of what I do. So let's go. So watch this one here. If you're in a short-term trade, you may want to put it to break even, right? Let's go. Euro Pound. Euro Pound is the one that gets everybody crazy, right? Including me, right? It's broke the top eventually. We didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to break the top because this was going very nice as a 1, 2, 3. Now, this breaking the top does not mean it's still not in the corrective structure. If any one of you know anything of corrective structure, you do have patterns where they break the top and then they go back down, expanding and running flats. So is this making one of that, or is that the based on all I have done so far in wave analysis, I can say we're clear. This is hardly all the correction. That could hardly be all the correction. Most time you're looking for 1, 2, 3, not expecting them to break the top. But then if you look back at this chart, which is what I did today, they break the bottom and then they came back. This one did not break. You see, this one just stay within the structure. But this broke the bottom and then went back up to make that three-wave structure before they come down. So I would not be surprised, and I'm still expecting this to come back here and then go. So should I buy at the top here? If you get a 60-minute trade and you buy at the top there, it's a short-term trade, take your profit. If they start to break the trend line, then we will confirm that this is probably happening, right? And then look for upside. If you go back, way back, you will see they have many of those structures where they break tops and bottoms. See this here? They made a long move down here. And if you were asking me, I would look for 1, 2, 3, and then the downside. Not expecting them to break the low. See what they did? They did break the low. Came here, break the low, and exactly when everybody thought they should be selling, boom, straight back up. When everybody thought they should be buying, down. So take this as an example, and let's turn that upside down. See, this move was coming this direction. This move is going this direction. So you broke the top here. Should you be buying? Probably not. Bad idea. Because if you buy there, that's where they're going to drop you down here and then go back up. See? So let's go and see what they're doing in there now. Now that you understand why sometimes we look at those tops and bottoms, this thing is going up, right? We saw this one. We saw this sideways move. Actually, this one we saw, I thought they'll just go very short and come back. They went very nice, make a bigger correction. Go there making a correction here as well. If they break out of here and you take that trade, one short trade, take profit. Don't sell it now until they break the structure. I want them to break the structure, make a flag. Confirm the start of the downside, and that's your trade. If they confirm the start of the downside from here, it is going to be a big move to the downside to complete that third wave before they go back up. Right? That is what, that's just simple, right? You just look at how the charts behave and you anticipate those behavior. And if they behave like that, you trade it. If they don't, well, then not your problem. You don't have to worry, right? It's not about, it's as someone said, oh, you're totally wrong on this. I don't care if I'm wrong about it. I'm not here to be a winner or to be right. I'm here to make forecasts. And if my forecast works, I trade them. If they don't work, well, I'm not in the trade. No need to worry, right? If I said I'm looking for a sell and I don't get the sell set up, well, so be it. It means this time it didn't work the way I forecasted to work. I am wrong about the forecast. The structure is still intact. The structure is still doing what it should do. It's just that I am not taking into consideration, I'm not looking for an expanding flat. I'm looking for a regular flat. Turns out to be an expanding flat. Do I know there are such patterns? Yes, I'll wait for it. Trading, if one thing I've learned about trading is patience. You want to be successful in trading? Learn to have patience. If you don't, you're going to lose your account very fast. That's the number one thing you need to do. People talk about psychology of trading. Most of that psychology has to do with patience. Traders are impatient. They can't wait for the trade setup. They want to be in that trade right now. Patience, if you learn that, you will be successful. Learn to be patient. Wait for the trade setup. Wait for what you think the chart is doing to start doing, and then you take your trades. If they don't worry. It's okay. Right? There's many other pairs. Remember, we did about 40 pairs. You don't trade this one, trade the other ones. Let's go. Pound Aus. Well, that's a whole different problem. The reason they close too early, because they don't know where it's going to go, right? So Pound Aus, this thing is making a big consolidation at the bottom here. Looking at the 4-hour, you can see that sometimes these consolidation in the pound trade. I closed my Pound Aus. Remember, we closed all the pound trades. I was in Pound Swiss, Pound CAD, Pound Dollar, Pound Yen. All of them closed a long time back, right? The Pound Dollar was the last one I closed this week. I closed that one, right? The rest of them I closed. Long-term trade in them, long-term. I'll wait for this to finish what it's doing here, and then I'll look for the next breakout here, right? Right now it's in a consolidation. Don't try to trade this one. It's in a consolidation. Believe me, it's really, really crazy. You don't know whether it's going to be like that, whether it's going to be like this, or whether it's going to be like this. This one is very, the spikes that it makes are sharp sometimes, and they'll just take out your stops and then go. We do have some divergence. It could be making bigger consolidation, but eventually they're going to break this, and this is your trade. So remember how I traded this? Took it from the top, close it to the bottom. I closed a little early here, but that's okay. I'm waiting for them to prove that they're going to break this, and then this is your next big trade. See that three-wave pattern I show you? We're looking for the euro on the Euro Pound. 1, 2, 3. This is coming down. This can go for 5. If they start to go for 5, we will all trade that up. If they break here, we'll all trade it down. This is the big trade you're looking for. So you take it from the top, wait, come out to the bottom, wait to see if they go back up or if they break out. There are trades I will not come out of them because I know they're going to go, but this one has the potential to go back up. That is why you come out and you wait. Right? So let's see. Pound New Zealand on the Nifty, right? That's good that you saw that. They're making that three-way for a sell setup. Pound New Zealand, I think this is easy, right? You can see I already have this here for a sell. They're coming back to break that top. I think I showed everybody that's a nice buy if you buy it. They're going to take that top out, right? See, they're coming to take this top out. And we showed you why we think so when it was here. Why we think this is not going to go down, but it's going to come break this low and go back up. 1, 2, 3. See that? That's an expanding flat. You make that third one. 1, 2, 3. Break the low. And you see when they break the low, how they turn immediately? That is what we were expecting. Broke the low, turn. They're coming to break this top, and then they're going to go straight down. See? Want to see what that looks like? That's just a little flag. Look at it in the daily. This is what you have. You want to see when they had one like that previously, how they react to that? Look, for example, this one is not even that big like that, but you can see it. Let me show you. And if you, oh, let me take this out. Too many things in the chart so you can show. And move this down. Look at this one at the top here. See that? They drop. Look at that one. What they did, they dropped. This one was a different structure. They broke out and then they dropped, right? If you look at this one here, what they did, they dropped. What they're doing right now here, what do you expect them to do? Drop. Wait for it. Wait for it to understand how structure behaves. Know where they're going. If you're buying this, and you should buy it, or you could buy it if you want, it's going to just come to this top and then downside. So when you get there, take your profit. Can it go a little higher than that? Of course. Right? When I said it has to go break the top, I'm telling you about a minimum of the possible structure I'm looking at. Right? That doesn't mean that it's going to stop at the top and turn. It could get to the 270, it could get to the 618, they could make it a much bigger correction up, but they're going to go down eventually because this structure is a downside structure. How high they spike that up? No idea. You're in the buy if you're lucky if they spike it up 400 pips. Which means if they spike this thing up all the way to the 618, which you're in this trade and you think they're going to break the top and they do something like that and then come down, good for you. You get a lot of pips. So you should take the trade because sometimes they can do that. Right? So watch it, look at the pattern, wait for the setup. If you're looking for the sell, wait for it. If you're looking for the buy, it's probably going to go. Pound Yen, I think we're making a deeper correction for more downside. Okay, we're waiting to see whether they're going to break this morning. They didn't break it, so you can do this now. It's just a deeper correction, like this correction, but a bigger one. And then we'll get down. We don't have a buy setup there as yet. There isn't anything to buy into. If you bought this break here, you probably want to hold it for a while, but look for a sell setup there. Pound Chief, you're going to make a deeper correction. Remember last week we said one more drop, one more drop, one more drop, and then you're going to look for this to go back up. Look for a buy setup somewhere here. There isn't the buy setup. It's moving up, but there isn't the buy setup there as yet. So Pound Swiss is the same thing. We sold it here, we sold it here, we sold it here, and I got out somewhere here actually. A little too early. I didn't see this coming. Got out a little too early, but that's okay. I lived through this one. So now we're going to look to see if they make a deeper correction back to the top, or they just make a deeper correction like this and then drop. This also will be going down. All the pound pairs will be going down some more. Put it in the daily, you can see it. Right? This here, we're gonna watch it when it comes and break this low. They'll minimum break that low. And if this is like a 1, 2, 3 here, they'll probably go back up. But we're expecting them to come break this low and break this low. There's a low, there's a daily low, a yearly low at the bottom there that we think they should break. Right now, I think they're just making a deeper correction. So if we get buy setups this week, we can take them up here and then look for the downside. Let's see if we have a buy setup right now. I don't think so. No, it's just going up and it's still in here. Right, it's still within this consolidation here. So you don't want to buy that. This could drop again here, right? They want to sell it. I think a bad idea right now to sell that. Especially now that you know it could go up higher. Wait, let them break out. Let it make a flag and then we'll take the trade. Remember the trade to the downside I didn't take from here, right? No, sorry, from here. We didn't take this when it dropped. We waited until this drop and make that consolidation. And then we sold. And you keep that trade all the way to this low. Here is where I closed my trade when they started to make this breakout here. That's where I closed it. A little too early, but that's okay. Right? So you can hold this one if it goes up and we'll see how far they go. And then we'll close it. Basically, that's what you do. Pound CAD, same thing. We're getting a deeper, you may get a buy setup here actually. You can see they're forming something like a correction here. It's not over, but they'll probably do this and then you'll get that trade down. So watch this. This could give you a nice buy setup. Right? Aussie Yen, Aussie Yen. I don't know if you want to take this trade. This trade might come here. It's not looking very aggressive. I don't like how it looks. Right now, this is a sharp move. So if this is making 1, 2, 3, they can go down. But we could look at this 1, 2, 3 there too, right? So for the sell setup, you probably do this. Here's a good sell setup. Let them break, make a flag, and then you sell. For the buy, if you want to buy this, I wouldn't take the trade like that. Because even if they go and they break that top, they'll come down. The bigger picture has one more downside. See? If this comes and break this top here, you're going to get this trade here. So the buy might not be a good one, but if they break from here, you can get that trade. See? So you go with the highest probability trade. You don't want to go with it against the probability of that trade. The probability of the upside is very small. CAD Yen may be consolidating here somewhere, but you can see that this is trying to do that. Right? So look for this breakout. Let this go here and then look for this breakout. That might take by the end of this week only. You might not get it so fast. Right? Short term, you don't want to trade anything in there. It's already, well, you can actually pull a much tighter trend line if you want. And look for the break of this one here. Then take the trade. Swiss yen, stay out of that. This was a nice buy. I don't know if anybody took this. I think I identified this to you guys that would be a nice buy setup. If you take that, you want to put your stop here and keep it because they can go more. If they pull back, then we'll look for buy setups. If they start to fall to the downside, you don't have a trade setup. This one, you have a trade setup. I think there's one more downside break this low, and then we'll look for the upside. One more downside in this before it's over. See? It's going to drop one more here, and then we'll see what happens. This looks like it's going to be over. They'll go back up. So you get one sell setup here. That's a trade for this week. You can just use a stop somewhere above, outside of the trend, because after that, we'll see what happens. Aussie New Zealand, this one is going up more than I expected to, and they will likely break the top. So if you, right now there is the buy setup, but if they pull back, you get a buy setup, take it. When they break this top, we'll come back and look at this pattern. Because we were expecting them to break the low, finish the impulse, and then go back. So this pattern could be, right now, depends on how it ends up, we'll see. It's very, very difficult. Some of our traders are thinking it's probably an expanding, leading diagonal. That is an iffish one. I don't see it that way, but it's possible. We'll just wait and see. If they don't break the top and then they come down, well, yes, this will still be just a bigger correction. Let's see what happens when they break this top, because this pattern is very, very interesting. Never seen it. I haven't seen this type of pattern in the charts as yet. So I'm very interested in how it's going to develop and what it will eventually be. Leading diagonal, yes, James, possible. A lot of my traders are looking at that way as well, but I don't see it that way. I still will not confirm that that's a leading diagonal. There's many reasons why. Let's wait and see. My patience, I'll just have to wait and then we'll see what to do, right? How to deal with it. I have no idea. Sometimes there's a pattern that is new that I haven't seen, right? And then we'll deal with that. Right? Don't worry, we'll have enough time to deal with it. Let's go. Aussie Swiss, stay out of this. Aussie CAD, stay out of this too because of where they are. Not at very good points for good sell setups or sell or buy. Stay out of them for now. We're not getting anything in there that is good to trade. New Zealand CAD, this one just goes, right? If you were taking those trades, you're in. I don't trade this chart, but if you're taking, you're good. Wait for a deeper pullback here now. I think we could probably see them doing something like this. And then we'll go for the downside again. So wait for a deeper pullback. Don't trade that now. They'll have to correct this move. New Zealand Swiss, kind of going down. So if you get a correction here, look for a downside. We can't buy it until they break the trend line, right? There's no buy setup there. US oil, remember the last week I was saying stay out of this because it has no sense of direction. It wasn't giving us any, and up to now I don't think we have a clear sense of what direction this is going to go. If this is the pattern we're looking at, then they should go this direction, right? Break out to the upside, which means look at the UK oil has a better one, right? If this is a triangular pattern, this thing should go this way. If this is not a triangular pattern, we're looking at another pattern, they could come back here and then go, making this one a flat. So you have to wait on this one. Wait, see if they come back here, and then you look for a buy setup somewhere in here for that upside, right? It still looks upside, right? We are still in the uptrend, yeah? So this still looks one more up. An entry order here would not be a bad idea. If they break like that, you get it. If they come back here, you can move your entry order lower and then look for that one there. Natural gas, stay out of it. Looks upside also. See this piece here? 1, 2, 3 looks upside. If they break here, you can take that trade. This will be a big trade to the upside. They'll come back to retest that up. I don't see downside a lot in natural gas, so you probably don't want to trade it to the downside. Right? This piece is looking more like they're going to come back to do this and then downside. Right? More as a 1, 2, 3. So look for the upside in this if you trade it. It's starting to go, but don't try to get in early. Wait until they break out. Then take the trade. Nifty, making a nice correction possible here. Looks like a 1, 2, 3. If you're buying Nifty when they break that top, move it to break even, take profit, because if they start to fall, you want to get in that trade. See that? There's a likelihood it could come back down. You notice when they went, right? They pretty much went fast. They went fast. They didn't start doing this here. They started to do that there. That's a consolidation for downside. If they go while you're not in the trade, I would be looking for a sell setup right now on this. This one is consolidating for the upside. See that? They came all the way to the bottom. I think there's one more upside here. Let's look at it in the 4 hour. Maybe the daily would be a better version. See that? This could possibly go one more up and then look for downside. Right? This is not looking aggressively down. It's not a trend. It doesn't fall like that. It consolidated here. And that means one more up, retesting the top, and then come down. 4 hour, they're making a nice consolidation for you here, actually. 1, 2, 3. If they go back up, buy here. Can it fall to this low here? Can they come back to this low and then go? Possible, not the best trade. If you miss this, wait until they break this structure, then buy. You want to take that trade, put an entry order. It's a very high risk trade. I'll go with the upside here for now. Put an entry order and wait. If they take off, you're in the trade. Right? The downside was from the top, from the top, from the top. This piece doesn't look very much downside right now. Let's see. S&P 500 also consolidating in here. See that? This consolidation, though, has the tendency to go down. Right? There's a chance you can go down for one more here and then go up. Right? This makes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave corrections. That is very possible. So if you're going to trade this, put an entry order here for a sell and a take profit somewhere here. Somewhere here. Put an entry order above here for a buy and a take profit somewhere at this top. Why? Because they can make one sudden spike and you will probably have to take profit fast. If they're going to go down, they could make one sudden spike here, finish that move and go back up. What if they go lower? Well, no big deal. You get enough of it, you get out of it, and then you wait to see what else you have, right? Swiss, this one is probably going to make one more move up. Not the best buy. Downside after that. See this pattern here? Looks like it's a big consolidation. And downside. Most people don't trade this, and I think that's the best thing to do. What else we looked at for those of you who would be interested? I think we've actually covered everything. I'll stop the recording and then we can do some more charts if you want. Oh, Ripple, let me show the Ripple one for those of you who take it. You may have a second chance of buying it at a lower price than you bought the last time. So let's go. Where is that one? Good. So here's what I say. Remember the last time you were supposed to buy at the bottom here at 15 and go for that? Well, it started to come down. Even if you take profit there, right? 25 or 30, you take profit, you did well. Even if you take profit lower, you still did very good. Now, there's a good chance that they will bring it back. They'll bring this back to retest the low. Retest this low. Kind of a 1, 2, 3 structure. Come back here, right? This 1, 2, 3 structure here. Come back, test this low, and then take off. Make this whole structure something like this. So what you're going to do is, if I were you, I'll wait for it to come back in this area and then buy. Buying right now where it is not a good idea. Looks like they're turning. They're not turning as yet. Let this come down some more, and then we see how far they go. Track this development, and then you look for a buy. So we'll track it. I'll probably post the chart out for you guys, right? So we can look for it. Bitcoin, let me see. I don't look at Bitcoin that often, but Bitcoin has a buy setup. You can see this. The buy setup actually came from here, and they're getting a buy setup here again. See this? The danger with this is as soon as this thing spikes out of here and it makes that move, take profit. It spikes out of here, make that move, take profit. Don't hold it, right? I don't know, 4.7, 4.8, how far it's going to go. Somewhere there. Let's see how far it could actually go. Yeah, 4.688, 4.7, take profit. Don't hold it too long. It's making, you can see they're making a consolidation here, right? They'll break, you can buy that. Can that come down some more? Maybe. Wait for the break. They'll probably give you one more up trade. Sell Ripple, where to? That's the problem. Why would you sell it it's at 16? Where will you sell it to go? If that thing goes to $1, you know, it's at the bottom. There's no sell setup there. Look for buy setups. You know where your stop could be? 0. Calculate your risk on your account that when you buy it, your stop is at 0. You're buying that thing at 16 cents, 15 cents, 13 cents. Your stop is at 0. That should be 2, 3, 4, 5% of your account, whatever you want it to be. And just wait. Have the patience for it to make a spike up, take profit. Wait for a consolidation, make a spike up, take profit. Right? That's the easy, that is the easy one to trade. What do you get to buy at 15 cents, right? Right? So it's 15 cents. This is the one, $4,000 you don't want to buy. Right? Because you're investing $4,000 in an iffish thing that could start to fall anytime. They could spike this up like that and reverse it within a couple minutes. If you're not quick, you end up taking a loss rather than a win on this. At 15 cents, where they're going to, how low they can go? 0? That's where your stop is, under the 0. From 4,000, you know where they can go? They can go back to $1. So you probably know how much, the possibility of how much they can go for you to lose. That is what is most important, right? It's not so much as to whether it's going to go or not. It's the possibility of, if they fall, how low they can go. See? Think like that. If you think like that, you know which one go. You think that one is not going to go because it's 15 cents? Think again. Think again. Look at this chart, and then you will know how far that one could go. The basis for these are all the same. They just need the investor to move their money from this one to that one, and then everything will be okay. So, okay, guys, I think that's about it. Any more questions? Let me stop the recording, and then we'll take questions. I don't want the recording to be too long.